running just a couple of minutes behind because technical stuff. Where's my pen? All right, it's Monday. People expect it to be Monday-ish.
Really?
I don't know. I always expect it to be Monday-ish. You know, coming off the weekend and uh people mad that they got to go back to work if they don't work weekends. Seems seems fair to assume people approach Monday from a negative starting a negative starting point. I don't know. Do you?
You gotta dive into Monday head first. You gotta take Monday like a shark, man.
Take it
Shark doesn't care that it's Monday. It's
take
just doing shark crap.
take Monday by the horns and up its ass.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Just
hello everybody. Welcome to the Daily Cup of Genre here on the Genreverse YouTube channel and Genreverse Podcast Network. As I screw up the audio, anyways, I'm Kyle. The other guy talking was Manny. Please hit the subscribe button if it's something that you haven't done already. If you have, thank you very much. We got a lot of great content here on the channel and wherever you get your podcast from, like Apple, Google, Spotify. We've got reviews, reactions, news stuff like this show and Breaking Geek Radio. So yeah, check it all out. And of course, the website lrmonline.com every day for all your entertainment news, needs, and opinions. It's Monday, like we said, which means we're going to be going over some box office numbers. But before we jump into the box office numbers themselves, Manny went and saw some movies this week. And Manny, why don't you tell us a bit about what you saw?
well, I mean, I went to see Shazam, of course.
What'd you think of that one?
It was all right. It was fine.
Mm.
Like it was nothing special.
Nothing to write home about.
And yeah, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't great either. Like the third act took forever. And it just kind of got to the point where if it was like 10 minutes shorter,
yeah,
it would have made a world difference as far as the pacing of the film. The pacing in general actually was a little bit wonky. But the kind of the family dynamic was there. That was nice. Some of the themes of the characters of stressing out over what they were going to do for money and housing and things like that. That was very real, very relevant. And the villains really didn't seem over the top either, which was nice. It was very straightforward, to be honest. And I liked it. I just wish it was shorter. Because it dragged on. CGI was pretty good. I can't complain about that for this one. They did put their time in. The creatures look really good. Well, not really. DC actually usually does a pretty decent job. Did
you not see Wonder Woman 84?
Oh yeah,
Did
sorry.
you not see
that one was
the first
pretty bad.
Aquaman? Did you not see
Aquaman was good.
Some of the stuff in the Suicide Squad? Like, dude, they've had some
okay,
really
so
rough CGI.
Suicide Squad and Wonder Woman 84. Yeah, had 100%. I'll give it to you.
Marvel's had
Aquaman,
more projects to screw up with, though. So yeah, by far, Marvel has a worse track record by sheer numbers alone.
Yeah, I don't have necessarily a problem with Aquaman though. The other two though, I will yeah. So yeah, that it was fine. Like, am I necessarily gonna watch it again? Not really. But then again, I haven't really seen the first one all over again because
twice.
Like it's just a fun kids movie. And then on Sunday we went to watch Scream 6. That was really good. What's great about Scream is that they're not trying to reinvent the wheel, and they're not trying to be something they're not. They don't have identity issues, so they know what you want, they know what you expect from the franchise, and that's what they give you.
Yeah.
What they do is that they were smart enough to change the setting for Scream 6. So instead of your typical town, now they're in New York.
Yeah.
So it made it so you can have different settings for basically the same thing. There's a bodega scene that everyone's seen in the trailer, where he murks people with the shotgun, which was different. It was cool. Yeah. The subway scene that you also sort of get previewed in the trailer is very tense. It comes at a pivotal point in the film. So everyone's on edge, and it makes you on edge, and it was done really nice. And then that one again, the monologue from the killers, maybe I'm not gonna tell you exactly who or what it is, how many, but it was about 3 minutes too long. It could have been a little bit shorter, but I understand why they did it, because it's part of their formula.
Right.
Even one of the characters at the end was like, I missed the monologue. Oh man. It's very meta in the sense that it understands its place and what it's supposed to do, like I already said. And I think that's what makes it satisfying. And then they went really all in on some of the gore. It's very minimal things that can make you squirm. Like, they made sure that you saw Ghostface twisting the knife, or you saw him pulling the knife up, or my favorite moment was gore moment was he was just violently stabbing, but in one of those cases the knife just kind of gets stuck, but when it comes out it has some extra stuff with it, and it was like, oh that's
nice.
That's not good. But I showed you, this is week 2 for Scream, and I showed you my theater.
Dude.
This was on a Sunday afternoon.
The theater was packed, man.
I'm telling you, man.
I sent
these numbers that we're gonna look at, man, has nothing to do with the Fresno area. we go into the theater.
As Manny's bringing up numbers and stuff, you guys can see Shazam only brought in 30,500,000 estimate so far. Scream 6 bringing in 17.5. Creed 3 wrapping out the top 3 with 15.2, and the whole weekend getting a whopping $89 million and change, which is really, really rough. Last weekend it brought in 116 million, which was Scream's first weekend. Scream's first weekend, Scream 6 brought in more money than Shazam did. Scream 6 did 44 on its opening weekend, and of course Creed did 58 on its opening weekend. So not a good weekend for theaters in general. Definitely not a good weekend for Shazam and Warner Brothers Discovery specifically. It kind of goes back to what I mentioned about this movie and Aquaman 2 specifically a while ago, especially after Gunn's announcement about the new DCU going forward. And I asked, well, do people care? Do these movies matter? Will people think they matter enough to go see them? Blue Beetle's a bit of a difference because it's not necessarily connected to anything in the past. And of course, The Flash has Batman. So we agree that those are likely a little different than Shazam and Aquaman 2, but dude, like, that's rough, man. That's below even the low estimates they had hoped for. So I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on. My theater's completely empty. When I went and saw Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, it was the preview night. Sure, I think it was the 1500, 3 p.m. for those that don't know the 24-hour clock. My theater there was like 20 of us, 30 of us, maybe max. And that's the RPX screen. And sure, it was a Thursday, but I went and looked at like the 7 p.m. RPX that same day I could have purchased dead center ticket for my RPX screen. Quantum Mania, 8 p.m. Opening day. That's insane. And then to see a place like where you live, which is way smaller than my metropolitan area, population wise, it's like just holy. I don't get it. I really don't. I don't know. What do you think happened with Shazam, man? Because it wasn't like it had the worst reviews. There's been movies that have received worse scores. What was Shazam's RT? I don't. What do you think's going on with Shazam?
I don't know. I don't necessarily feel it that whole. It doesn't really matter because just watch how good the Flash will do.
Again, that's got Batman, especially Keaton.
But the thing about Shazam is that
a 52
I think
Shazam.
Do you know what I think it is? I think
What's
Black Adam left a really bad taste in people's mouths.
That's a real possibility too.
And
I thought about that.
And then also like, there's nothing really to grab you for Shazam as far as like, besides the comedy you already saw in the first film. It's basically the first film all over again. And with so many films coming out, John Wick 4 is next week, man.
Yeah. That's
got
a really good
this
score.
Week now.
It had several perfect scores we talked about last week.
So with so many movies coming out and you got to make choices, and now you have the ability to make choices. Like for example, I mean, this weekend, just look at the variety of movies that was out. It was Shazam, Scream, Creed, 65, Ant-Man, Cocaine Bear, Jesus Revolution is still out doing well. Champions, just to name a few. You have options, and people are gonna move over to the genre that they want to see if they're gonna even go to the theaters at all. Because Shazam plays more like a kids movie instead of I think this big budget kind of DC film, which is why. I mean, Warner Brothers wasn't even that far off there. They didn't even expect much. They had estimated it at 35 million. So, 30. It's like, oh my God, this is a low number. It's like, yeah, they didn't really think they were going to get much play off of it. Shazam is more of a streaming movie. That one.
I mean, the first movie did really, really well. I enjoyed it well.
It was the first time we had seen the hero and things like that.
Dude, but 90%. And the way you guys can check out Breaking Geek Radio, the podcast did their Shazam review. You can check that out here on the Genreverse. Look right there. There it is. They essentially, most of them said that this was similar enough in the first one. To the first one, that it wasn't anything necessarily amazing. The first film got an 82 from audience. This currently has an 88 from audience. So the critics liked it more, liked the first one more than the sequel, but audience seemed to like the sequel more than the first, not by a whole bunch. They're both in the 80s, which is good. Maybe the Black Adam thing, maybe
I think so.
doesn't matter, because oh my goodness, sorry, hold on 1 second. My phone is connected to my crap. Hold on 1 second. I wish my phone would stop doing that. Anyways, what were you saying, Manny? Sorry.
Shazam never mattered. As far as it connecting to anything.
I mean, they tried to make it matter in the first one.
But if you watch this one, Shazam might matter, and it's interesting to see some of the things they left in it, and some of the cameos that you get in Shazam that you're gonna also get in Flash, and so there's some assumptions I can make about the future of the DC, which is really interesting.
They had said, James Gunn had said that the door was relatively open for Levi's Shazam, Gadot's Wonder Woman, and Momoa's Aquaman, but that it was kind of like a we'll see thing. Like, Cavill, you're gone. Batfleck, you're gone. Batfleck doesn't even want to do it anymore. If you guys,
I don't blame him.
Listen to Breaking Geek. They talk about his comments on that very
do not
clearly.
Blame him one bit.
Yeah, but they did say that those three, it was kind of like, we'll see. They're not done. but they could be done.
That's one thing that they didn't shy away from, is, you know, kind of the kids being a little bit older, because that was one of Billy's biggest concerns, was he's going to turn 18 and they're probably going to kick him out because they can't afford to keep him.
Yeah,
in his mind.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he thought. So that was pretty. So that was cool that they kept that. Yeah, it wasn't. The thing is, it's funny because you and I have such a different perspective because of our areas, like we've talked about. Like, I'm constantly going to the theater, and if you, I mean, you guys don't know this, but I'm constantly sending him pictures saying, "This is my theater at so and so hour," and I mean, like, we had like. So the funny thing about Scream is I purchased my tickets at about 10:30 in the morning on Sunday, and I made it so that we weren't necessarily close to people, but I mean, our room was about, at that point, not even a quarter filled, and it was like, I was like, okay, cool, like, you know, it's gonna be kind of empty at a Sunday at 4 o'clock, whatever. When we sat down and there was people next to us, Brittany looks over to me and she goes, "You purposely get tickets around people?" I was like, "No, this was not supposed to happen." There was nobody, and so you saw, I showed you the lobbies, and so that's not even the big theater in our area. That's the newest, the smaller theater that's actually closest to Madera to us. So that's where we like to go. There's a ramen place that just opened right there, and
don't dox
round
yourself.
Table. So, what?
I said, don't dox yourself. People start tracing a map with the landmarks you're giving away because you said closer to you.
Oh yeah, but yeah, it's still far. I mean, whatever. So overall, like, it is a disappointing week, but I think Shazam will play better. Maybe even on HBO Max. That's one of those films that it's gonna do a little bit where it's like, okay, we'll get the money's worth on HBO Max, because it is a fun movie, and when you can sit there and maybe fast forward through a little bit of that third act, it's great. The family plays well together, and I have no issue with it other than after a while I was like, can we just please move it along? That's my big complaint. I still haven't seen 65, which is kind of bumming me out, but I don't think I'm missing out because I haven't heard anyone say anything about it.
The way I understand it, you're not missing out. Avatar: The Way of Water, man, still kicking it 14 weeks later. When is it hitting digital? I don't remember.
I think they already had a date, and I don't have it in front of me.
Let's see here. The Way of Water release home. March 28th, so next week. Next Tuesday is when we'll be looking at that. But what's interesting is on the all-time domestic, it is 700,000 away from taking over Avengers Infinity War, which would be the last thing it could take, considering the number 6 movie is Black Panther with 700 million. I don't think this movie has 12 million left in it.
And I will not be one of the people contributing to it.
Right. Out on the international, worldwide, sitting at 2.2 billion. Definitely nowhere near the 3 billion that some people thought, nowhere near the 300, or even technically not near the 700 million some people thought, but it did do way better than either one of us thought.
It did great.
And
it did great. It did what it needed to do.
I wish we could get 2 or 3 of those types of movies a year again for theaters, but we didn't, and we probably won't ever again. Until the next one.
You never know, but I mean,
we'll
you got some films that are going to do well. The Flash is going to do well. Indiana Jones is going to well.
Indy's gonna have a banging opening weekend unless some certain things come out to really be true before it hits, and people are just like, no. And those are based on rumors. You guys can look up Indy 5 rumors yourselves. But if it's not good, if we have a repeat of Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, that second weekend drop might be catastrophic. So we'll have to see.
Yeah, what else is going to probably play really well? I don't even remember what's coming out anymore.
The Marvels won't. I highly doubt that's going to do as well as they think. Guardians 3 might do well. I really hope it does. I really, really hope it does.
The problem with Marvel movies in general now, and this is a conversation we're having in the car, there's no it doesn't feel like anything really matters. So hear me out. If Kang would have killed Scott Lang, it would have felt like a big deal.
Yeah.
It would have woke people up like, oh crap, we need to pay attention. But to this date, nothing consequential has really happened to really make anyone care. Somebody there, a legacy character needed to die at this point.
I don't disagree with that.
So, and then like the thing with like Guardians is we already know Batista's not coming back, and so who is it that's probably gonna? I mean, will it maybe be someone else? Probably, but if it's Drax that dies, I'm gonna be very disappointed because it's like, yeah, we already knew that. So they
got to do something a little extra, a little
get a little
additional,
creative.
But beyond that, yeah.
I mean, I didn't really even like Guardians 2, to be honest with you. So it had some fun moments, yeah, but the first Guardians, I loved it, absolutely. The second Guardians, it was like, I didn't really feel the whole planet thing or whatever. It was yeah, and then the Marvels, like Captain Marvel to me was all about Samuel L. Jackson and the cat.
Yeah. One second. We are having quite the last couple of weeks. Carry on, Manny. You're good.
Yeah. So, I'm still excited for the rest of this year as far as films. There's still a ton more films that are going to come out. A lot more than 2022. John Wick has really good potential also. Yeah. Do we have a Top Gun in our future? No.
Or another Avatar this year?
Another Avatar? We don't.
Not at all.
But I think that both of those films did give a little bit of a boost to the industry to kind of like help it carry on. It also helps that the last few years anime films have been making their way around United States theaters, so to give it an extra boost.
Gridman Universe this year, this upcoming, and I don't know what month that is. That Gridman Universe hits Japan this month, on the 24th, which is mine and my wife's anniversary. Yay! 16 years this Friday. Friday, right? Friday's the 24th, or is it Thursday? Nope, Friday. So yeah. And then Suzume, which you and I got gifts from Crunchyroll and Sony Pictures for, hits in April 14th. Worldwide, it'll be open here in the U.S. on the 14th, or North America, I should say. Yeah, man, anime is a big deal. We'll see what shakes loose out of the rest of the box office this year. I mean, the days of me cheering for a movie's failure are long gone, not to mention not just because of how many people work on it, besides how I might feel about a particular writer, director, or even studio. A lot of people put in effort on these films, so I want them to succeed, but I also want them to succeed for theaters' sake as well. You and I are always, and again, I don't go and see every movie in theaters because not every movie do I necessarily want to see, but also, just like everyone else, I've got, life. My son is a situation. It costs money to get a babysitter. You're talking for my wife and I to go see a movie that Lucas either can't go to or doesn't want to go to. That could cost us $150 by the time you account for the babysitter, the food, the tickets. Like, it gets super expensive. So we get when people can't necessarily go see every movie they would have, but it's those ones that people claim to love, want to support, especially your big tent poles, and then they're just like, nah, I'll wait. You're killing theaters by waiting, guys. Really,
I know, but we got other issues here in the States right now, and I understand. But like again,
I get.
Yeah, not a problem in our area apparently. Apparently everybody's doing well. Area. Yeah, no, we do it because this is our lifestyle. This is what we like to do. We have Regal passes. We have 4 Regal theaters in our area. My daughter's old enough now. She's 12, where there's really, as long as there's not a lot of, if not any, like, sexual things going on in films, we do not mind taking her, because she's really exploring what kind of film she likes. She's really into horror, so she gets to go a lot. She went to go watch Cocaine Bear, and if she was with us this weekend, she would have gone to see Scream as well. So I mean, we just have a very different situation, and also we just love it, man. Sometimes the best days for us is waking up while catching an early movie, getting some lunch, catching a second movie, then grabbing some beers at the brew house there.
The adults, and, not your daughter grabbing beers.
Oh, sometimes, yeah, man, because it's almost like a farmer's market.
Your daughter doesn't grab beers.
No, she'll grab a soda or water.
Yeah. But because you kind of let your sentences run on there, and it made it sound like you were promoting underage drinking.
They wouldn't serve her anyway. Anyone who thinks that is a Kyle.
What? No.
Yeah. So I love the theater, and I practically live there, so it's a Boston part, man. We just like to plus also we do believe that a lot of films play better on the big screen.
They do.
So
they do,
like for example, since I won't watch Avatar on the big screen, it's probably a disservice to whenever in the future I do watch it, because it probably should have been seen on the big screen.
Well, I hate to cut it short today, but we've got some stuff that I need to kind of hop on and help Christine with, guys. So please do forgive me for the sudden stop. Hopefully Manny and I won't miss as many days this week as we have in the last couple of weeks. Check out lrmonline.com every day for all entertainment news, needs, opinions, written reviews, celebrity interviews, and more. All of the podcasts, the reactions and things go up on the YouTube channel as well as available on all your favorite podcast apps like Spotify, Apple, Google, and more. Manny, any final words on this Monday? Sorry to cut it short.
No, it's all right. Unfortunately, I am going to have to miss a couple of days. New to your knowledge, tomorrow I won't be able to record. I'll be producing tonight at the news at 11, and then tomorrow morning. So it's a really weird turnaround thanks to March Madness. It's making our schedule madness. And then also on Friday, I'll be missing the show because I'll be at WonderCon. So
Enjoy.
I'll at this time on Monday morning, I'll actually be probably getting into LA. So those are my two. But I'll be able to get you a bunch of interviews that I'm setting up, and we'll be able to talk about that.
Eyes on the LRM YouTube channel and the Genreverse YouTube channel. So all right, guys, that's it. We'll talk to you hopefully on Wednesday then. Bye.